My name is Maxtaylor. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and this is Untitled. I started playing piano when I was young, and I really liked music. I was in marching band, and I played trombone and percussion, and I started making beats when I was like 14 on Ableton, on FL, and then I moved to Ableton, and I've been using Ableton since. Ableton Live 10, and I started rapping when I was like 15. I was in choir when I was like in high school and shit, and I didn't get entirely serious about like the business aspect of things till I was in college when I like realized that I had to make a living for myself and like figure out what I wanted to do on a professional aspect and not just make it look like it was a hobby. Um, and yeah, and here I am, and I'm ready to move out of New Orleans. I like it here a lot, but I think it's time for the next step, and I want to travel. Yeah. Music is expression of self, like how you feel in that moment, and whether it's like you want to scream your ass off and make some like really, really intense, hard shit, or like you want to sing about it, or whatever it is that you do. Just making it like as natural and like genuine as possible and enjoyable for the people that listen to it. As of recently, I've been only like working with my beats just because I feel like I'm more, I can control like every aspect of it as opposed to like using a random YouTube beat or whatever. But I usually will like make like a little like drum pattern, and then if I have like a cool flow or like a catchy rhythm in my head, I'll like write it down or like make a note of it and then write to it and then record it. That's a good question. Bobby Raps, he's this guy from Minnesota. Um, he actually produced like a bunch of The Weeknd's new album. A lot of people don't know about him, but his style specifically is like very influential to me. He makes like most of his own beats, and he's got like a really unique sound. Same with Spooky Black, who's also from Minnesota. Um, I listened to Lil Peep a lot when I found him. I found him at like end of high school, and like the second I found him, I listened to him like every day. Same with Convolk, and yeah, tour in January with Convolk and Bobby and like a few other people. That's like I'm putting like my all into that right now, and after that, like that, I want that to be like a taste for like moving and like getting experience outside of New Orleans, and then after that, I want to be able to expand and maybe tour in like the Midwest or like tour in California, and just have the experience to do that like naturally and go smooth. Definitely will be continuing to like put on events and make music and like be involved with all of my friends' creative activities as well. I have a lot of like creative visual friends and musicians, obviously, that I like to incorporate my work with as much into as well, like y'all. And I want to have Renaissance be a lot more established in a sense where we have like our own shop set up and have more frequent tours and have a more engaged like aspect with everybody. Yeah, I want to own eventually like a nice venue, not like a huge venue, probably like a 500 cap venue. Um, and that's like a goal for the next 5 years, I'd say 5, 6 years, give or take. That's a big financial investment, but if it comes together nicely, which it will, then it could be really cool. Because there's so many shitty venues, I feel like, all over the place. Like, that's a huge hole in the music industry, I think. There's not a good enough connection between artists and venues. There's too many steps they have to take to get like a dope show put together. Being happy with like everything, and I'll never really be satisfied with what I'm doing, but at least like look back on what I've done and just say like, I'm glad I did that. And I feel like that's like the best feeling is when you look back on something you've created and been like, wow, like that was a great experience. Um, and I learned a lot from it, and makes you feel good looking back. Yeah. Shout out Skylar Allen, my brother. Lived with him the past few years. Shout out DT, my roommate and good friend. Overseas, Heartbreak P. Those are my lucrative, my main. Shout out my girlfriend. Shout out Convol. I'm ready to go on this tour and see what the next year or two holds.